Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to be making this video because I know a lot of you guys have tryouts coming up, so I wanted to help in the best way I could. I apologize for being sitting on the floor. I wanted to record this in my room because I have like a really cool setup with all my USC stuff, but the lighting in there is terrible. And it's not even like bad lighting and I'm being high maintenance about it, but it's just like dark and not the best, and this is gonna be a long video, so I wanted it to be good lighting for you guys. So I moved upstairs and I scrubbily, I can't speak today. I scrubbily, like a scrub, brought up a few of my knickknacks from USC to have in the background of this video so that I wouldn't just be in front of a wall. But thank you for bearing with me. I am super prepared for today's video. I have my computer here with all of my notes. This is a 3-page document. Okay, so it's not that long, but there's no double spaces. Today we're gonna go over tryouts, specifically volleyball tryouts because that was my sport, but if you play another sport, I'm sure this video can apply to you too because a lot of these things can cross over. Today we're gonna talk about what to expect at tryouts, what the coaches are looking for, my tips for you, my advice for you, those are different, nerves, stress, and anxiety around trying out, and then lastly, how to deal with the results, whether you make the team or you don't make the team. We're gonna go over all of that. I'm very excited and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already because I would love for you guys to be a part of my channel here, and we are only on the way up. If you guys follow my Instagram, you know that I just signed with Studio 71, so I'm super excited to keep creating content with them. Woo! And if you follow my Instagram, you were able to submit your questions to me that I'll be answering in this video, so if you're not following my Instagram, make sure you do that so that the next video you can submit your question. And with that said, let's get started. The first thing we're gonna go over is what to expect if it's a high school tryout. Now, I can't give you a great answer to this one because a lot of high schools are different. You don't know if they're gonna like make you run the mile or time your sprints. Some schools are weird and do stuff like that. Or if they're gonna split you up into groups or if they're gonna do it by age. High school, you just can never tell. So the best thing you can do is reach out to someone who's tried out for that team or that coach and knows what it's gonna be like so that they can tell you everything and you can feel a little bit more prepared. Or you can take the fun adventures approach of just going into it, not knowing anything and just wanting to see how you do. I don't know, risky, but could be fun. I know that I definitely was texting older girls at my school, like what was a tryout like, what is this coach like? I was looking at like what positions they needed on varsity, freshman, JV, whatever it was. So I would just ask someone who's been there what their advice is for you or what you can expect. However, for club, I can kind of give you a what to expect vibe because I know a lot of clubs are the same. But side note, I played club 4 years ago. So things might have changed, I'm not sure, but at least for me, this is how it was. You walk into a gym, there's a bunch of courts, there's a bunch of coaches who are in charge of all the different teams. It's just for your age group, and then they basically begin the tryout, and they have different courts, and they have different drills they might do, like all the setters setting, all the hitters hitting, and we're going through all the courts. Then they might get into queens, whatever it is, and then, super stressful, I don't know why they do it this way, it's so scary. They will come up and tap you on the shoulder and then call you to the side and say,
"We would like to give you an offer on this team.
We would like to waitlist you on this team. We're really looking at you for this team."
It's like really high stress because they're doing it in front of you and you're seeing girls get called or you're worrying about where you're not getting called. It's just like a lot going on. That was not that fun, but we're gonna get into it, don't worry. I know we're gonna talk about it more. I'm gonna give you guys a lot of advice and some tips, so hopefully it'll help you. So there's definitely a lot going on at a club tryout, but maybe if you know someone there, you go with a friend, it could be fun. Or if you go alone, that's okay too. I went alone to my first club tryout ever, didn't know anyone, and I ended up okay. Also, quickly, I will say it's pretty hard to make a club team when you've never shown any interest, never spoken to them before, and just kind of show up on the tryout day expecting to have an offer. You could be really good, the best in the city, and the best at the tryout, but there's gonna be like a slight hesitation, like why have we never seen this girl before? Why don't we know her name? Why has she never emailed us? So I would definitely develop communication with the club before tryouts, whether you can attend one of their summer clinics, whether you know one of the coaches, or you could have your high school coach email the club coach and say, my girl Victoria is trying out, keep an eye out for her, whatever it is, just maybe so that they kind of know somewhat who you are. That's definitely important and one way to make sure that you're not going to be overlooked. But like I said, even if you're really, really good, I just don't think they're going to give you that offer without even a little hesitation, because once they offer someone they don't know, then like the A- B+ player that they do know and has been coming to everything is now not going to have a spot and going to be waitlisted, and that could set that girl off and then she might leave the club. So there's just a lot of risk for a coach to offer a girl a spot who they've like never seen before. My point here is like just try to communicate with the club and get your face known so that when you show up on tryout day, you're not just a complete stranger. All right, that's the best I can give for expectations. Like I said, all high school tryouts are different, club tryouts could be different, so I'm not really sure, but definitely expect a lot of people, coaches evaluating you, and different games or drills that you're gonna be playing. The next thing I'm gonna talk about is what are the coaches looking for? This is everyone's big question. They wanna know like what is it exactly that they're looking for that's gonna give me an offer to be on their team. So I'm obviously not a club coach, but with my years of experience and what I know now, I can give you a pretty good educated guess at what these coaches are looking for. Side note, I ordered these by guess. I'm not sure, maybe a coach is looking for 3 instead of 1 or 4 instead of 2, but this is just my educated guess, so don't hold it as Bible, but you can take it as you will. The first thing they're gonna be looking for is, are you good? Are you good at volleyball? Are you gonna help them win? That's probably the first thing they're gonna look for is, are you a good volleyball player? No secret there. They wanna have a winning team, they wanna have a good team, so they're probably looking for if you're a good player. The second thing the coaches are probably gonna look for is, are you coachable and athletic? And what that means is, are you showing potential and promise, like you can grow and develop? So you might not be really, really good at volleyball, but you might be a great athlete. So at the tryout, you're the fastest, you have been running around, you get to the ball really fast, even though you shank it, and you're just showing, hey, I'm athletic. And then what's even more important than athleticism is, are you coachable? If the coach walks around and says, hey, try serving it this way, do you do it right away? Are you interested in learning? If they tell you to try something new, are you receptive? So that's called being coachable, and being coachable is really important. So first thing is, are you gonna be good? Second thing is, are you coachable and athletic? The third thing coaches are looking for is your attitude. Are you positive? Are you enthusiastic? Are you a good teammate? Are you supportive? Those are really important things. I promise you they are. I had a coach at USC tell me that they were scouting a player at a convention center and they wanted to watch the player from afar, like 6 courts away, just to see how they would act when the coach wasn't around. And my coach told me that they saw this player spit gum on the ground and walk away. And so the coach stopped talking to them. Like, because coaches don't want girls with bad attitudes who are gonna cause problems and cause drama. So attitude is important. You have to be kind, a good person, and just overall someone that everyone would wanna be on their team with for a whole year. So that girl's somewhere wondering why USC never emailed her back, and it was because they saw her spit gum on the ground. Sad. The fourth and final thing coaches are looking for is your energy. Are you energetic? Are you able to stay at a good level for the whole tryout? Did you not get tired? Are you a competitor? Are you talking? Are you communicating with people? Are you leading? That's definitely important because it shows that you are gonna bring something non-tangible to the team. So you're bringing something that isn't a physical quality, it's just an innate quality. That's definitely important. The good thing about the 4 things the coaches are looking for is half of them, 50% of them, are in your control. Your attitude and your energy effort are in your control. No one can take that from you. No one can force you to be a certain way. You might not be the best at volleyball. You might not be super athletic, but your attitude and your energy are really important, and they honestly can be the reason you make teams. And then the coach finds out later you are athletic or you can be good at volleyball. So really important that you control what you can control and be the best version of yourself and the best player you can be. Another thing too is if you don't have the opportunity to show the coach you're coachable, like they don't coach you, your energy and your attitude let them know that you are someone that takes feedback, that is passionate, that is enthusiastic. So that third and fourth point are really important. That's something that was always important to me, was having energy. I prided myself on being the loudest person in the gym. Like if my team didn't unanimously agree that Victoria was the loudest and talked the most, it was like an insult to who I was as a player, because I wanted to be the person that was talking and loud and always generating energy. That was something I knew I brought to the table, even when I was the worst on my club team, even when I was on a 2s or a 3s team. Energy, effort, and attitude were always something I tried to bring to the table. Okay, now we're moving on to tips, and this is really fun because these are just like little tricks and things that I think are important to making sure you're prepared for the tryout. The first thing is wear something that makes you stand out. Everyone was DMing me saying, how do I stand out? How to make myself stand out? The way you stand out is literally by wearing something low-key absurd. Like I used to wear a colored headband. I wore the purple headband all through tryout. I wore the yellow headband all through tryout. I used to wear headbands all the time. I don't wear them anymore, but I used to. Or wear a shirt with the number 4 on it. That was the number. Wear a shout out. If you wear the same shirt all through the days, they'll just start knowing you as number 4 girl, or the girl who wears number 17, or the girl who's 23. That is another way to keep them looking at you. You could wear the same yellow shirt every day. You could wear the same green shirt every day. Something that keeps you consistent through all the days of tryouts. Like when I used to play soccer, I had red polka dot socks. Wasn't the coolest thing, but definitely made me stand out. Another look though, and another vibe is just going blackout. Like when I went to the USC volleyball camp, I just went in all black because I was like, I'll be the girl in all black and that will look sick. I don't know if anyone overthinks outfits as much as I do, but I don't know, for tryouts and stuff like that, I just always thought like, I want to give off a cool energy and stand out. The second thing, be organized. Fill out the paperwork the night before or the day before and make sure that you have everything you need when you get to the tryout so that you are good to go. There's no stress. You don't have to make sure your printer's broken the morning of, or you didn't send the email into the administration. So just have that paperwork done and ready before you go to the tryout that day. Have your knee pads, double check you have your socks and your shoes and your extra hair tie or your water bottle, whatever it is. Just triple check all that stuff to make sure you're good to go, and the only thing you have to worry about is just playing the game. Fun fact, I used to always forget my knee pads. Like I would show up to tournaments when I was 15 and have no knee pads, and then I became a libero. The third tip I'll give is say hello and introduce yourself to the coach before the tryout. That's another great way to stand out, is when you get there, find the coach, walk up to them and say, hey, Coach Bob, my name is Victoria. I'm really excited to be here today and I'm looking forward to the tryout. Or, hey, Coach Sarah, my name is Victoria. I'm from that high school and I'm really pumped for today. Just a simple hello, you shake hands, you make eye contact, you sound confident, and they're gonna be like, wow, impressive. That 15-year-old girl walked up to me and introduced themselves. And it has a long-lasting impact, trust me. And think about all the other people that did not go introduce themselves. It's just a good way to start off on the right foot, show you're confident, and make a connection with the coach, because you don't know if you're gonna get one later on. The fourth tip I'll give is make sure your body is prepared. What I mean by that is don't bank on them having a really long dynamic warm-up or giving you enough time to pepper so that you feel good to go. Go there early enough or warm up beforehand so that you feel like when you step on the court, you can perform your best. You can't make excuses like they didn't give me enough time to pepper, they didn't give me enough time. They don't have to give you anything. You have to make sure that you are ready to go when the whistle blows and it's tryout time. Before the USC games, I used to always not trust the amount of warm-up I would get before the game. So I would go upstairs to the practice gym and I'd grab a freshman and I would make them serve balls at me for like 10 minutes. That way I was just passing and passing and I felt grooved and I was sweating and I felt like, okay, I've touched a ball a million times today. I can go play well in the game. That was just a little confidence thing I needed to do for myself. So if that's similar to you, like you want to feel like you've made some good volleyball plays before the actual tryout starts, find a buddy to warm up with, maybe get your blood flowing a little bit at home, or just go early and then make sure that you are in charge of getting yourself warm and good to go. And the fifth and final tip I'm gonna give is about your mentality and your mental preparation. A lot of you guys are saying, how do I mentally prepare? I'm nervous, I'm not confident, or maybe physically you're like, I'm really good. Like physically, I'm ready to go, I'm there for tryouts. But mentally, I just am a little shaky, or I'm nervous, or I'm anxious. I've been there. It's really sucks when you know you can do it, but the thing holding you back is what's inside of your head. So I made a podcast on my podcast, Real Pod, which you guys, I hope you're listening to and subscribing to. I did an episode that's really short. It's like 20 minutes and it's 10 tips for performance confidence, and it's all about the mind. They're all mental tips and techniques that are gonna help you be confident so that when you go to tryouts, you're ready to go and you feel a little bit better about your performance. So I will link that in the description and I will put it in the comments, and make sure you go listen to 10 tips for performance confidence on my podcast, Real Pod. I've had people DM me saying I listened to your podcast and tip number like 3 was the reason I was able to go play well in my game and then we won. Like it's crazy the feedback I've gotten from this podcast episode. So I hope you guys really enjoy it and I hope it helps you feel mentally prepared before you try out. Okay, now we're moving on to advice. This is just more like me kind of preaching. My camera died and now I'm back. So if the frame or the lighting is different, that's because my camera died and I had to go fix it. Okay, I think it was like this. I think I was about to talk about my advice for you. So my advice is basically me just thinking about some other things I want to tell you, and I'm just kind of going to preach to you, and if it applies, great, I hope it applies, but if it doesn't help you, I'm sorry. Okay, my first piece of advice is be the teammate and player you know you can be, no matter what. So no matter what the environment is like, if the coach is mean, if the girls are mean, if you are put in a position you don't want to be playing, if the girl setting to you is not good at setting and you're looking bad as a hitter, whatever it is, be the player and teammate you want to be at all times. No excuses. You want to be the person that makes a tough environment better. So if the person setting you isn't really good and it's frustrating and everyone else is frustrated and letting it get to them, why don't you just say, hey, can I aim mine a little bit higher? Thanks. And then go hit a higher ball. Or on the next one say, actually, just a little bit closer. And like have a great positive dialogue between you guys about playing. That's volleyball, right? A lot of it is communication. So you have to be able to talk to people and make the best out of a hard situation. Similarly, if you want to play libero and they're making you play right back and you're not as good as right back, just be the best you can be at right back. You're not going to get it exactly your way. The coaches are looking to see if, once again, you're coachable and you're adaptable and you just kind of go with the flow and do the best you can in whatever position that is. I remember going to tryouts where I had to like wave through the line. So I would be in left back, left front, right back. And in 3 of those spots, I had no idea what I was doing, but you just kind of do the best you can, show that you're willing to learn and you're willing to just be wherever the coach wants you to be and help. Just to close up that first piece of advice, regardless of the environment and how it's not fair or you're not on the top court or you're not with the people you want to be with, just be the best that you can be, because that's all you can do in that moment. Your only other option is complain, whine, and not do well. So let's get rid of that and let's just choose being the best we can no matter what the circumstance. My second point, which I just realized I kind of overlapped by accident, is adapt. And I kind of just explained that, but you want to be able to adapt. Swing from different sides of the court, serve to different zones, whatever it is, just be able to adapt, similar to the first one, no matter what the environment is, just be adaptable, be the person you know you can be, and that will help you so much in the long run, not just as a volleyball player, but just as a human, because life's not fair and there's gonna be a lot of things that we're not happy with, but we have to deal with. My third piece of advice is don't go in with a specific goal. I know you're probably like, what? Like I have a goal. Obviously you want to make a team, right? You're showing up to tryouts, but don't make that so apparent and focused on your mind that you get anxiety around it. And if you don't get this goal, everything is going to go to pieces. Just go in with the mentality and the goal that you're going to play the best volleyball you can play today. Of course, you want to make the top team. Of course, you want to impress this coach. But if you go there thinking, I gotta impress this coach, I gotta impress this coach, I get asked to be on this team, I get asked to be on the team, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. So just breathe that all off you and say, I'm gonna go today and just be the best volleyball player I can be today, in this moment, at this tryout. And then, if you focus on that simple idea and concept, you're probably going to get that team or that offer, and those things are going to come as a byproduct of you just being the best volleyball player you can be that day. I know it's not as easy as I'm making it seem, but if you can kind of internalize that and believe it, I promise it's going to help mitigate some of that stress you're feeling. My fourth piece of advice is put your blinders on. No matter who's doing this over here, who's talking to a coach over here, put your blinders on. You're only focused about what you're doing. You're in your lane. As a volleyball player, if other people are doing good, great, because that's a team sport and you want to show you're supportive. But don't stress and worry and compare yourself to other people so much that you're not going fast in your own lane because you're looking over in their lane and you're grabbing a lane line. Like, just be right here. Because I promise you that these people, they're gonna change. I remember going to a club tryout and there were these 2 girls for like 3 years. For 3 years, these 2 girls were like the best players in our area and they could get anything they wanted. And I always remember thinking, oh, they're so much better than me and I'm not as good as them and this and that and this and that. And I went on to have better college career than both of them. And that's just, and I'm just saying that to prove that, like, no matter if you're losing here and they're winning here, you're winning here. I mean, they could now have a better career than me. Who knows? But just don't worry about them, because in the end, the race is only with yourself. 5, my 5th piece of advice is the politics of volleyball suck. They just suck. You're gonna go to some clubs where they already have their group of girls, or the coach already has his favorite outside hitter, and so he's not gonna talk to you. That just sucks, and it is what it is, and that happens all the way up until like the Olympic level. There's politics, there's favorites. That is just a part of life, sadly. Things are not fair. I remember going to a club to try out and just never making their ones team because they had their same ones team. Those girls were all brought up from 12. Sometimes that just is how it is, and the only thing you can do in that situation is, once again, be the best version of yourself, be the best player you can be, and just hope that they'll notice you or they'll stop their ways. But my one piece of advice I wanted to add here was just, some things in life are not fair, and it sucks that a coach might not give another person a chance because they have their preconceived notion of what their starting lineup is going to be before the tryout. And these are just things you can't control. So don't take it personally. It's not a reflection of you not being good enough or you not being enough for that situation. It's literally just that coach or that player has their own small mindset of what they think they want, and it's a bummer, but that is just life, and all I can say to that is it sucks, and don't take it personally. What one club or one coach says does not define you. If you guys know my story, you know that I had a Pac-12 school string me along and talk to me, and then they took another girl instead of me. They had both of us right here, and they were like, no, Victoria, we want this chick. And it's a bummer, but I did not let that get me down. Just don't get put down or feel let down because one coach or one club said no. And my sixth piece of advice is about nerves. I'll dive into this. I really think you guys should listen to my podcast, 10 Tips for Performance Confidence. It's really helpful. But one thing I'll say about the nerves is, rather than being like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous and I'm so anxious and why do I feel this way and this is terrible, instead, think about those nerves as like excitement. Wow, you care so much about this sport. You're so excited about this thing. How cool is that? That you have something that you're that passionate about, that makes you that excited, that you have like a physical and emotional jitter and like butterfly towards it. So that's something I would try to do with my anxiety, is view it as like a positive thing. Like, rather than, oh my gosh, my stomach's tingling, I'm so anxious, I was like, oh, I'm getting butterflies, like, because I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited. Yes, it's a lot of convincing because obviously, you know, you're nervous and there's underlying like some sort of fear, like we have this human instinct, but try to view it as like a positive thing. That's something that helps me. I hope it helps you get the music cranking on the way there. Listen to a song that makes you feel awesome, some 7 Rings, some Look What You Made Me Do, whatever it is, listen to those musics, pump yourself up. Call a friend to give you a pep talk. Go look in the mirror. One thing I always did to myself was I would go to the mirror and I'd look in the mirror and I'd give myself a pep talk. The way I know I could give a friend a pep talk. I could give a friend a mean pep talk and make them feel like they could go fly. But when it comes to myself, I wasn't always the nicest to myself. So I would force myself. I'd be like, Victoria, look in the mirror as if you were talking to your friend right now and hype them up. So that's something you can do to feel a little bit more confident and calm those nerves going into tryouts. Last but not least, we're gonna talk about how to deal with the results. You either make a team or you don't make a team. And the first thing I'm gonna talk about is if you do make a team. So if you make a team, congratulations. If you made more than one, you're probably wondering like, which one do I choose? How do I decide? It's very situational and specific. I don't know what your situation is or how many girls are here and what the coach is like and the distance or the finances. So that's something that you really should talk about with a trusted person in your life, a parent, a coach, an older girl who mentors you, and kind of give them the situations and have them help you figure it out. Whenever I have something in my life that I need to make a big, smart decision about, I always have like 7 people in my life involved. My mom, my dad, Max, Aubrey, whatever it is, they're all giving me their opinion, and then I'm taking all that energy in and I'm making the best educated choice I can make. Because at the end of the day, it's your decision. I remember my senior year, I was trying out for 18s. I had been at the same club, Red Rock, shout out, my whole life. And my 18s year, I was committed to USC. So I really wanted to have like the best prep to go to USC. And there was a Stanford assistant coach coaching at another club. And so I remember thinking, oh my gosh, like, should I switch clubs as a senior so that I can get this Pac-12 level coaching a year before I go? It would prepare me even more. And I went and I tried out at that club and I made their ones team, and I had made Red Rock's ones team. Sorry, am I speaking? I had made their ones team, and then I had made Red Rock's ones team. Oh my gosh, that was a tongue twister. And I was sitting there with this, what do I do? Because this is the club I've known and loved, and I know I'm their libero, and I know I'm gonna start, and I know I love the girls, but then here is like this cool opportunity to learn from a new coach and hopefully get taken to the next level. But after a lot of conversations, talking with my family, I just realized that I had already committed, the hard part was over, and I wanted my 18s year to just be really fun, and I wanted to feel confident about my role on the team, and I loved the coaches, and I was like, why rock the boat if we're sailing steadily? So I stayed, and I had the best year. We ended up beating that team at one of the tournaments, which always feels good when you're like deciding between, and then the other team, the team you chose, you know, you made the right choice. I can't speak. So that was a decision I made with my parents. But when I was in club, a lot of you guys know from my recruiting story, I was on a 14 threes team, and I got called up to the twos team. And it was like, leave this team I really love and I'm starting on to play on this team where I don't know anyone. It's the middle of the year. But I did it. And that one paid off for me. And that's different because it's the beginning of my volleyball career, and that coaching and that being the worst on the best team was important to me to learn. Whereas when I was in my 18th year, it was a different situation. So you can never tell what the best decision is for you. So involve someone in your decision process so that you can make the best educated decision. Okay, and the last thing we're gonna talk about is what to do if you don't make the team. And if you're watching this and you didn't make your team and you tried really hard, I feel for you, and I wish I could just like reach in and give you a big hug, because it doesn't feel good. It's not fun to not make the team you wanna make, or for things not to go your way. But the good thing and the optimistic thing you can try to find, like that silver lining, is you have the ability to decide how you're gonna react to this quote unquote failure, or whatever you wanna call it. You have the decision how you're gonna react and how this is gonna shape you going forward. It is not the end of the world, I promise. I had friends who didn't make their varsity team but then played in college at like a D2. I had friends who made varsity and then didn't end up getting recruited. So you just never know. And I don't want you to be hanging your head super low for months and months like this is the deciding factor, because it's not. But I do think it's really important to learn and grow from this as much as possible. So the first thing you should do is reach out to the coach, probably at high school, because the club coaches won't remember everyone as well, but reach out to the high school coach and say, hey, coach, had a great time at the tryouts, was definitely bummed to see I didn't make the team, but I would love your feedback. Where do you think I could improve? What are my areas for growth? And what would you like to see me be better at by next year's tryout? Because look, then you're making something out of a bad situation. You're saying, okay, this didn't turn out in my favor, but I'm gonna use it, I'm gonna learn from it, and then make it better going forward. And I'm sure the coach is gonna think it's super cool that you reached out in the first place to even know, like, you know, what the reason was. And you probably deserve to know the reason. Like, if things don't go my way, if I don't win something, if I compete and I lose, or I don't get the offer or the job, I wanna know why, because that's important for my growth. Figure out what that is, and then use it to get better and use it to fuel your fire. People are gonna make mistakes in life all the time. I just had Haley Hodson, former #1 recruit, on my podcast, Real Pod, so you should listen to it tomorrow, the episode comes out. And she said, how quickly can I fail so that I can learn faster? Because we learn from our mistakes and we learn from our failures. People that never fail, never make mistakes, never grow and never learn as people. And also that's impossible. Everyone you know that's successful and at the top has failed more than anyone who's at the bottom, because failure is a stepping stone to success. And if I could leave you with just a little bit more hope and inspiration, because I'm sure you're feeling a little bit sad right now, I'm gonna read you this small short story. In 1978, he was just another kid in the gym, along with 50 or so of his classmates, trying out for the Emsley A. Laney High School varsity basketball team. There were 15 roster spots. He, a then 15-year-old sophomore, was only 5'10" and could not even dunk a basketball. He did not make the varsity team, even though all of his friends did. That man is Michael Jordan. Debatably one of the best basketball players, if not the best basketball player, depending on who you ask, to ever live and touch a basketball. And he did not even make his varsity team as a sophomore. So there's so much room for growth and improvement. Do not hang your head if it doesn't go your way. It's a learning opportunity. Maybe you can be the team manager and then you can see how the practices are run, you can help out. Maybe it's a chance to try out for the school play and try something out that year. But definitely don't just sulk your head and sit in your room and let this define your school year, because it really does not have to. And there's so many awesome things you can do with that time you have now to either train or explore something else. If you listen to my podcast with Katie DeFeo, shout out, she said that when she got a concussion and wasn't able to play with her team, it's when she found her love of filming and videos. So if Katie never had experienced that great pain, she might never have found her other passion for vlogging. And we can have many things we love in life. I love volleyball, but I love a bunch of other things as well. So it does not have to be this sad, big, your whole world's ending, because there's always another time, and there's so much that you can take from this experience. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is have fun. I feel like you guys are under so much pressure and so much stress, and I have all your DMs and your questions worrying about this and that, and it pains me because I want you guys to be having fun and having a good life, but I know things can be stressful. I've been there. I feel like I was there this week. Like, I've been so stressed about doing everything, getting everything done, but just take a deep breath. Go hang out with a friend, go have dinner with a family member, play with your pet. Just do something for yourself to kind of get rid of this stress. Self-care is really important. So I want to just say, now that this whole video is done, I really want to encourage you to do something for yourself this week so that you can kind of relieve the stress. Maybe take a bath, maybe take like a little bit longer shower than usual. Actually, that's bad for water, but maybe go to your favorite ice cream place and sit outside and just eat the ice cream and look at the sky, or go lay in a field. I don't know what it is, but self-care is so important. So if you're feeling really stressed, that's another great thing you can do, because mental health is so important. If you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and you can also follow my Instagram at Victoria Garrick. I love that we're building this community. If you guys haven't noticed, we're super close to 70,000 subscribers. So if we get the play button, I don't know what I would do. Like, that would be insane. Maybe comment what I should do if we had 100,000 subscribers. I'm scared. Anyways, thank you guys, and I will see you in my next video.